Have you ever wondered about the dark corners of history that textbooks often omit? Welcome to an exploration of the shadowy recesses of our past, where we'll unearth 10 disturbing historical facts that might unsettle even the bravest among us. These narratives are not for the faint-hearted, but they're crucial in understanding the depths of human experience and the consequences of misused power. Each tale we unravel will take us a step deeper into the underbelly of history, revealing how humanity's darker instincts have shaped the world we inhabit today. As we delve into these stories, we invite you to join the conversation. Maybe you've stumbled upon a disturbing historical fact that left you shaken. Share it with us and let's learn and grow together. So fasten your seatbelts and steady your nerves. Brace yourselves as we dive into the first of these chilling tales. Our first stop brings us to the 16th century, where we encounter Elizabeth Bathory, infamously known as the Blood Countess. Born into one of the most distinguished families in Eastern Europe, Bathory was a noblewoman who used her position to commit unthinkable atrocities. Driven by the belief that bathing in the blood of young girls would grant her eternal youth, she orchestrated the murder of hundreds. Her gruesome acts were so shocking that they became the stuff of legend, earning her the nickname the Blood Countess. Not just a tale of horror, her story is a chilling testament to the abuse of power. This was a woman of privilege and status, who used her position to exploit and harm the most vulnerable in society. But perhaps what is most disturbing about Elizabeth Bathory is how long she was able to carry out her crimes, shielded by her noble status. An unsettling start indeed, but history is filled with more such horrifying tales. Fast forward to the 19th century, we stumble upon a most disturbing spectacle: the human zoo. These were not your run-of-the-mill zoos with exotic animals, but rather, humans from far-off lands were the ones on exhibit. They were seen as curiosities, objects of fascination, and subjects of study for the onlooking crowd. Human zoos were not an obscure phenomenon, but rather they were immensely popular. Thousands flocked to gaze upon people from Africa, Asia, and the Americas, placed in artificial native settings. This was their twisted idea of entertainment, a stark contrast to our understanding of human dignity and rights today. The conditions these exhibited people had to endure were nothing short of appalling. Forced to perform, live, and exist in artificial and often degrading environments, they were stripped of their humanity for the amusement of others. A grim reminder of the inhumanity that lurks beneath the surface of civilization. Our next chapter unfolds in the 20th century, introducing us to the tragic tale of the Radium Girls. These were young women, full of life and dreams, who found employment in factories painting watchdials with a luminous substance that glowed in the dark. The secret ingredient? Radium, a radioactive element, whose deadly effects were not yet fully understood. Encouraged to point their brushes with their lips, these women ingested radium daily, oblivious to the danger. With time, they began to suffer, their bodies ravaged by radiation, their teeth falling out, their bones brittle and breaking. Despite the growing evidence, the companies they worked for denied any responsibility, leading to a lengthy legal battle for justice. These brave women, now known as the Radium Girls, fought tirelessly, their plight eventually leading to significant changes in labor laws and safety standards. A chilling tale of corporate negligence that reminds us of the importance of workplace safety. We now move on to a psychological horror from the 1970s, the Stanford Prison Experiment. In a bid to understand the psychology of prison life, Stanford University psychologist Philip Zimbardo embarked on a study that would shock the world. He split 24 healthy college students into two groups, guards and prisoners. The experiment, planned to last 2 weeks, was cut short after just 6 days due to its horrifying results. The guards, given unchecked power, became increasingly abusive, while the prisoners displayed signs of extreme stress and emotional trauma. The experiment demonstrated how quickly people can conform to roles, particularly when power dynamics are involved. But it also raised serious ethical questions about the treatment of human subjects in research. The students were not merely playing parts, but were deeply affected by the roles they adopted. A disturbing insight into the dark depths of the human psyche. Our journey now takes us east, to the horrific atrocities committed by Japan's Unit 731 during World War II. A secret biological and chemical warfare research and development unit, It was responsible for some of the most notorious war crimes committed by Imperial Japan. The unit conducted inhumane experiments on thousands of prisoners, subjecting them to vivisection, germ warfare tests, and extreme temperature conditions. Their work was shrouded in such secrecy that the prisoners were dehumanized, referred to only as logs in official documents. The excruciating pain and suffering these people endured is unimaginable, and the death toll is believed to be in the tens of thousands. The devastating impact of these experiments extended beyond the immediate victims. The biological weapons developed were used on a wide scale, causing widespread death and disease in China. Yet, despite the scale and severity of these crimes, they remain relatively unknown and unacknowledged. A grim chapter in World War II history that often goes unnoticed. We return to America for our next disturbing fact, the Tuskegee experiment. In the heartland of Alabama during the early to mid-20th century, a chilling chapter of history was being written. The Tuskegee syphilis experiment was an unethical study conducted by the U.S. Public Health Service, where hundreds of African American men suffering from syphilis were intentionally left untreated. The aim was to observe the natural progression of the disease, but the participants were never informed about their condition or the true nature of the study. They were falsely told they were receiving free healthcare from the government. This grim experiment continued for 4 decades, from the 30s through the 70s, resulting in countless unnecessary deaths and considerable suffering. The Tuskegee experiment is a stark reminder of the inhumanity that can surface when ethics are disregarded in the pursuit of knowledge. A horrifying violation of human rights right on American soil. We now step into the era of the Cold War and the catastrophic Chernobyl disaster. In the early morning hours of April 26, 1986, the world witnessed one of the most devastating nuclear accidents in history. The Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine exploded, releasing a radioactive cloud that spread over vast regions of the Soviet Union, Europe, and even as far as North America. A fatal combination of design flaws and operator error led to this disaster. The fallout was immense. Thousands of lives were lost, many more were affected by radiation sickness, and vast areas became uninhabitable. Despite the obvious severity of the situation, the Soviet government initially attempted to downplay the disaster. They withheld the true scale of the incident from their own people and the world, exacerbating the damage and delaying crucial international aid. The Chernobyl disaster serves as a chilling reminder of the potential dangers of nuclear power. Today, the ghostly ruins of Pripyat, the city nearest to Chernobyl, stand as a haunting testament to this tragic event. A chilling reminder of the potential dangers of nuclear power. Our penultimate stop is a harrowing chapter of recent history, the Rwandan genocide. In the heart of Africa, in the nation of Rwanda, a chilling event unfolded in the year 1994. A conflict rooted in the deep-seated ethnic tensions between the majority Hutus and minority Tutsis escalated into a mass slaughter that lasted for approximately 100 days. The spark that ignited this tragedy was the mysterious plane crash that killed the Rwandan president, a Hutu. What followed was an organized campaign of violence by the Hutus against the Tutsis, resulting in the murder of an estimated 800,000 people. A staggering number that made up about 70% of the Tutsi population in Rwanda. The world watched in horror as the events unfolded, paralyzed by the sheer scale of the atrocity. The Rwandan genocide stands as a chilling testament to the depths of cruelty that humanity can descend to when propelled by ethnic hatred. A stark reminder of the devastating consequences of ethnic hatred. Our final chapter brings us to the present day, and a disturbing reality, the Uyghur crisis in China. This crisis in China's Xinjiang region involves the Uyghurs, a predominantly Muslim ethnic group. There have been reports of mass detentions, with estimates suggesting up to 1 million Uyghurs and other Muslim minorities held in internment camps since 2017. The Chinese government initially denied these camps' existence, but now refers to them as re-education centers. Allegations of forced labor, cultural erasure, and even sterilization have emerged, painting a grim picture of life for the Uyghurs in Xinjiang. The international response has been mixed. Some nations condemn China's actions, citing human rights abuses, while others remain silent, wary of economic repercussions. Despite the outcry, the crisis persists, and the lives of Uyghurs continue to hang in the balance. A chilling reminder that history, with its disturbing chapters, is still being written today.